Hey, I caught it early this time. Hey, everybody. How's it going out there? To anybody who is already watching, OBS wanted to screw around and not recognize the microphone. So here we are. I caught it early this time. Thank goodness. Oh my god, that would have been terrible. But that's what happens when you don't really plan these things. We're sleeving up a magic deck today. It's Abzan Armor. I'm just hanging out. This isn't going to be a very long stream at all. Felithar the Steadfast. Maybe we should flip it horizontally as well. These cards are all backwards looking on the camera. So let me... We had it to... Let's see. What do I want to do here? Flip vertically. I also want to flip horizontally. Can I do that? Let's go ahead and try doing that from here. Transform, flip horizontal. Yeah, there we go. All right. Yeah, sorry about the sun in the corner there, but here we go. Oh yeah, actual readable words maybe. If I can figure out how to hold this under a camera, I can never really make things look correct under it. But that's... Let's go ahead and get it out there. Felithar the Steadfast. This is a pre-con from Cons of Tarkir that I got for Christmas. And I'm going ahead and I'm upgrading it now. So we're just hanging out. Anybody who wants to chat, feel free to chat. I'll answer any questions you might have. This is a very beloved theme of mine in Magic, which is that toughness matters. I'm going to be trying to upgrade it. I'm going to be upgrading it with a few pieces I already have. And also just figuring out what I want to upgrade it with otherwise. Felithar the Steadfast, for those... if you're not familiar with Magic, you can just listen to me spout a bunch of jargon. But if you are, a 0/5 human warrior, costs a green, a black mana, a white mana, and a God, I'm so bad at tilting things on camera. Here we go. I think we're about there with it. Green mana, black mana, white mana, and 1. What's up, Delia? It's Abzan. It can do just about anything. Yeah. Hey, King Cool, over on YouTube. Gonna be sleeving this today. It is... Let me try to get it closer and more readable. Each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. Creatures you control can attack as though they didn't have Defender. A very favorite theme of mine. And then for 3 and tap and sacrifice another creature, you draw cards equal to the toughness of that sacrificed creature, and you discard cards equal to its power, which is going to be pretty silly, considering walls have Defender and they have low power and toughness. This stream needs a I flexed and the sleeves came off shirt. That's right. Sun's out, guns out. The sun is very amply out over here. There's my big old thumb. Now you can see it. Get a load of this sun over here. God, I'm so bad at like reverse camera. How do people do all this crazy flippy do shit with cameras? I'm lucky if it's pointing at me. Like, Jesus. Okay. But yeah, it's Abzan. We're going to go through it. We're going to read the cards. We're going to decide if we want them in the deck or not. Delia over in Twitch chat is going to be great for that. I do know offhand one theme that this, one sub theme that this deck has that I mostly want nothing to do with, which is a life gain theme. I have a deck that can do that, and I don't want that in this one. Matter of fact, that deck is green and white. So we don't need... Maybe if we were playing like a Witherbloom deck, we would care about life gain in black and green, but not so much. Okay, we're just going to go ahead, get this going. I should have around here Dargamut, that's what I forgot. My sleeves. BRB.
You need sleeves if you're gonna sleeve a deck, Roundy. Yeah.
Defender Matters and Assault Formation type decks are pretty fun. I would love to have red in a wall deck, because what I would like to build is, or what I would like to put in a deck sometime, one of those pet cards that you know, you always want to try to fit in a deck, but it never really works. Ether Membrane. That, to me, is a fun card, and I never really get to run it. Probably going to put it in Pramicon someday. Yeah, let's open up. I had about 2 seconds to choose a sleeve color, and I went with Gooseberry here, which is like this kind of light pale green. Thought that would be nice for an Abzan deck. Very pretty color there. Yeah, Ether Membrane rules. Very underrated card in my opinion. So it's got the. This is one of those sleeves that has the black inside and the matte outside. So yeah, we're gonna always stick your commander in a different colored sleeve. We're gonna go with orange for Felithar here, and we'll also be flipping over occasionally to see what cards are worth. Let's see how expensive this might get. All right, we're gonna stick that right there. Go ahead and go to Scryfall. How much is old Felithar? Himself, herself? Kind of hard to tell. Felithar the Steadfast is itself a $2 commander, but if you have the non-foil somehow through collector pack cracking, it is almost $8 for the non-foil variant. Because the non-foil is easier to read. So, that's pretty nice. Okay. Here's one we're not going to use. This is the backup commander, and this speaks to a different theme in the deck. This is Betor, Ancestor's Voice. No word on if there's also going to be a Lursa card in the near future. Betor has Flying and Lifelink at the beginning of your end step. At the beginning of your end step, put a number of +1/+1 counters on up to one other target creature you control equal to the amount of life you gain this turn. Return up to one target creature with mana value less than or equal to the amount of life you lost this turn from your graveyard to the bed. So we're not doing life gain stuff. Betor is going into the bin for this deck because I don't want to do lifelink, and I don't really want +1/+1 counters either if I can help it. I want power to stay as low as possible, because if we are sacrificing things to Felithar, then we want discard cards equal to its power. We want that power to stay as low as possible. Some levels of toughness might be an acceptable sacrifice, but otherwise, not really. So let's see. Here we have probably some new cards. This is Protector of the Waste. It's a dragon. Costs 6 mana. It's a 5/5 flyer. When this creature enters or becomes monstrous, exile up to 2 target artifacts and or enchantments controlled by different players. And for white and 4, it has Monstrosity 3, which means that this creature isn't monstrous. It becomes, put 3 +1/+1 counters on it, and it becomes monstrous. I don't really think we care about that too much. First of all, it's an 8/8. Kind of off theme for that. I would be, if I sacrifice this, I would be, the first thing we're going to look at is sacrifice. If I were to sacrifice this, I would be drawing 5 cards and discarding 5. So I don't think I want that. Because I'm going very strong for the sacrifice theme, which means we may be leaning into black quite a bit as well. Seems mid, can get artifact or enchantment removal from better places. For sure, for sure. Probably will throw a Withering Torment in there. That seems to be the hot new black removal piece. Has kind of outpaced Feed the Swarm. It's from Duskmourn, Delia's favorite set. Here we go. But it is kind of the new hotness when it comes to black removal. I think it's destroy target artifact, destroy target creature enchantment an opponent controls, and you lose 2 life. Whereas with Feed the Swarm, it's a sorcery, and you lose life equal to that permanent's mana cost. So Withering Torment is an instant and is a little better. Here we go. Reunion of the House. Reunion of the House is a sorcery, I believe. Yep. Return any number of target creature cards with total power 10 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, and then exile. Costs 7 mana, but that would get pretty much your whole battlefield back. I think that might be kind of useful. I think we're going to keep that one in the deck for now. You'll be mean about Duskmourn forever. Marina has potential as a character, and it was followed up by goofier shit by a wide margin. That is quite true. I think we're going to leave Reunion of the House in for now. I like the idea of getting my stuff back. Jaws of Defeat. This is a card I was interested in when I was just looking at the pre-con. Jaws of Defeat. An enchantment. Whenever a creature you control enters, target opponent loses life equal to the difference between that creature's power and its toughness. It does cost 4 mana, which is kind of heavy for only targeting one opponent. But I kind of like it. I'm going to leave it in. I like its flavor. Plus, that could add up real quick because walls are really cheap to cast generally. So I'm going to keep Jaws of Defeat in there. That dragon could be just subbed out for the Abolish effect. Looking to see if there's a Defender with a Disenchant effect. There might be. I think I was looking through Defender stuff last night. If you don't need too many more creatures, that dragon could just be subbed out for that Abolish. You just got. Oh yeah, the Abolish from the Mystery Booster. That's right. Tip the Scales, a sorcery, 2 and a black. Sacrifice a creature. When you do, all creatures get -X until end of turn, where X is the sacrifice creature's toughness. That's like a modular Toxic Deluge. I think that's pretty solid. For 3 mana also, not terrible. I think I'll keep that in there. That's some pretty solid removal. Tip the Scale seems like a good board wipe for 3. That's what I'm saying. Will of the Abzan. This may or may not be a reprint. Choose one. If you control a commander as you cast this spell, you may choose both instead. Here's Will of the Abzan. It's another sorcery. Any number of target opponents each sacrifice a creature with the greatest power among creatures that player controls and loses 3 life. Or remove target creature card. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So not quite like a Will of Acroma type situation. Does make me think, where the hell is my White Wall of Stone reprint? Yeah, I think about walls more than is probably healthy. Will of the Abzan seems... So, I'm going to go ahead and maybe have... I'm going to go ahead and have... I'm going to duplicate this tab real quick, just to make it easier to read. I'm going to put everything over here so it can still be seen. But I'm going to go ahead and put... Let's see. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do some scene swap in here real quick. Full screen. We're going to go ahead and take that, copy, and we're going to paste it in here for now. I probably have too much shit going on. Well, maybe I don't. Maybe I can just do this. Properties. Okay. Alright, we're going to go ahead and put this over here so that things are easier to look at. Maybe not. Okay. We're going to... Okay, we don't want to do that. Hold up. There we go. That'll make things easier to read on this side. So, there we go. Okay, so I don't have to have it like, okay. We can just view things a little better. Since I want to lean on Felithar a lot, yeah, I'm going to need some protection for Felithar as well. So we're going to need to make room for, like, Swiftfoot Boots, Lightning Greaves, maybe some kind of other protection if we can. So yeah, we're going to go slipping back and forth here. Alright. Arbor Adherent. Arbor Adherent is a dog druid, a 2/4. Tap at 1 mana of any color. Tap at X mana of any one color, where X is the greatest toughness among other creatures you control. Okay. That's... Okay. Okay. That's a okay dork, but for 4? Like, I don't know. I think that might go in the maybe pile for now. We're just going to set that to the side here. That could be a maybe. But 4, you are getting a lot of value at that point. At 4 mana, you've obviously cast a wall that can add, like, I don't know. If you have Crashing Drawbridge out, which I think is in this deck, that would give it haste. It's a maybe for now, I think. Canopy Gargantuan. That's a new one in this deck. Canopy Gargantuan. Flying in Ward 2. How much ramp do you need in a Defender Matters deck once you've hit 4 mana? I mean, you can just start casting things like crazy. I mean, Axebane Guardian is in here. Attempt to dump a full grip in 1 turn, basically. Yeah, that's what I like doing in Toughness Matters decks. Canopy Gargantuan. Flying in Ward 2. At the beginning of your upkeep, put up a number of +1/+1 counters on each other creature you control equal to that creature's toughness. See, that's a +1/+1 counter thing. I don't want to do that. So, it's a cool dragon, but it seems like it would be better in another dragon deck. So, I'm not sure what it's doing here. in this toughness matters deck. Power very much doesn't matter in this deck. But this would be good in, like, I don't know, Miram or some shit. I think that is probably... That's going to go in the no pile. I don't want that. Rampart Architect. Next up. Yeah, each actually ruins that for this one. Wait, hold up. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a number of +1/+1 counters on each other creature you control equal to that creature's toughness. Rampart Architect. Rampart Architect is an Elephant Advisor. Whenever this creature enters or attacks, if you could pump just one defender to be your big damage dealer, that would... Yeah, in that case, yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, in that case, one would be really potent. And to be the damage dealer, you don't want to sacrifice that one. You can sacrifice something else. But yeah, that just makes everything kind of too... And you wouldn't want that as a... Oh, wait. I'm thinking about two different cards at the same time now. Whenever this creature enters or attacks, create a 1/3 white wall. Creature token with Defender. Whenever a creature you control with Defender dies, you may search your library for a basic land card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped and then shuffle. I mean, yeah, if it stays alive, it wouldn't be the kind of creature you want to sacrifice. Though you could sacrifice its token. Whenever it enters or attacks, you create one. So, and then you're ramping. But at 4 mana, I mean, I should already be ramping anyway, right? That one's a maybe. I think that's a strict maybe. I do like that second ability, but I don't know. Tree of Redemption. Oh, baby. Well, one thing I can tell you right now is going in the deck. We all know Tree of Redemption. Exchange your life total with this creature's toughness. That could be good for some really quick, I need a shitload of cards. Let's see. Tree of Redemption. Yeah. So we have Tree of Redemption in here. Also, but what I think is funnier, and will get me targeted, but nevertheless is funnier. Tree of Perdition. What's that? I have a Tree of Perdition right here. Oh, shit. Tree of Perdition is much funnier. We're putting that in the deck. Tree of Perdition is what's going in. And yes, I got this Tree of Perdition out of a Innistrad Remastered pack. So, yep. Tree of Perdition is going in for sure. Tree of Perdition is fucking funny. But it's freaking hilarious. But Tree of Redemption, is it too much to put both in there? I think I'll hang on to Tree of Redemption for another day and just put Perdition in there instead. I think Perdition's funnier. And I'm usually just going for funny in Commander. Very casual. Very casual. Why is this in here? Ikra Shadiki, the Usurper. That's an old, like, Commander 2016 when they were really bearing down on the partners thing. Ikra Skibbity. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness. That's life gain. See you later. Good to have that around, though, in case I ever want to do that partner deck. If nothing else, Tree of Redemption functions as a 13/13. That's true. No, it's not terrible to have two 13/13s in there. Okay, we'll go ahead. Okay, you sold me. We'll go ahead and keep Tree of Redemption in there for now. That's 2 0/13s. Absolutely. Next up, okay, so both in there for now. Both is good. Next up, Balden Century Herdmaster. This card is very funny, and I can't believe it's been reprinted here. During your turn, each creature assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. Yeah, that's Sultai. That's not an Abzan partner. That's a Sultai partner. Think it counts for the new art cards or cards that are just 100% new. Yeah. Balden, Century Herdmaster. During your turn, each creature assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. Whenever Balden attacks up to 100 target creatures, each gets +0/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand. So, what would really be funny is to do the Tree of Redemption or Perdition thing. Tap it, exchange it, get, I don't know, 30 some odd, maybe 40 life off of somebody's thing. Then attack with Balden. Everybody gets +30 something to toughness. I mean, you're just running the board at that point. That's fucking hilarious. Although, Balden is better known by another card name, which I think we're going to stick in here. Balden is the in-universe version of E-Honda. So I think I'm going to go get my E-Honda out from my secret lair, and we're going to sleeve up E-Honda. Let's go! This is one of those universes beyond that I'm okay with. We'll just keep Century Herdmaster in our... How much even is this card? Not the... Let's see. Balden is just 24 cents. E-Honda is $6. So I have E-Honda. We're just going to put Balden over in our books, and I'll be right back. Let's put on some hold music while I'm out. Hell yeah, fuck yeah. What are you supposed to do with all these Ninja Turtles? Okay, let's see. I missed some stuff while I was out. Set in a weird place with Universes Beyond. I sit in a weird place with Universes Beyond. I've made cards based on characters I like from various non-magic properties because the system is very good for doing stuff like that for. Yeah, it's a largely rules-based thing. It's the corporations being corporate part of things that bugs me, and the fact that it's becoming increasingly hard to opt out due to all this shit being a standard. What am I supposed to do with all these Ninja Turtles to make them fit, though? I can't just reskin Archelos 100 times in a bunch of colors he's not in. Yeah, precisely. Yeah, that makes it really hard. I just sometimes I'm very bide my time when it comes to Universes Beyond. There are a few properties that I'm like, okay, that's fine. Still got all my original packaging here for Universes Beyond, and I still have... These are some of the few cards I didn't get rid of when I had to sell all my good stuff. So I still have a lot of the... And there it is. Right there. E-Honda. Sumo Champion. There he is. E-Honda is going in the deck. So yeah, but I still got all of them here. Where are they? Let me point them at the... Yeah, I still got all the World Warriors. Dhalsim, Zangief, Chun-Li, Ryu, Ken, Blanca. Blanca goes crazy in a... As like a Voltron thing. I did do that once. And Zangief too. I was actually banned from playing Zangief 1v1 at work back when I worked at the county overnight. They were like, it wins too easy. Like, I was winning on turn 3 with that shit. It was almost CEDH at that point. But yeah. Nice occasion to get out my Secret Lair Street Fighter cards. Still got the box and everything. And I'm not much of a physical collector like that. So, alright. We'll just set that right there. E-Honda, welcome to the deck. That's going to be a fun one to explain to people. Oh, yeah. And that's going to be the first time I feel like one of those Universes Beyond idiots that's like, oh, I cast E-Honda. Expel the Interlopers. I think this is a reprint from Crimson Vow. Expel the Interlopers. Where are we? Statue of Liberty. Where are we? Expel the Interlopers. Choose a number between 0 and 10. Destroy all creatures with power greater than or equal to the chosen number. A board wipe at 5. That's a maybe. I think there are better things we can do. This deck has Slaughter the Strong. I think there are better things we could do there. Indomitable Ancients. Why would you build a deck like this and not include Indomitable Ancients? Reprint from, I believe, Lorwyn or Shadowmoor. It's a vanilla 2/10. It goes in the deck. It does what it's supposed to do. I have a few like that. That are just, it does the thing. I'm putting it in the deck. Like, let's pull one from over here. Steel Wall. It costs 1. It's a 0/4. It doesn't do anything else. It just has Defender and it's a 0/4. It's going in the deck. It's a good turn 1 play. Did you know a foil Steel Wall is $7? Even Fumigate is probably better in that deck, even if you're cutting out the life gain. Yeah, there's better 5-mana board wipes. Morning Tide, that's what... Yeah, Indomitable Ancients is a Morning Tide reprint. I think you're absolutely right on that. Rock's Faithmender, get the fuck out of here. If you would gain life, you gain twice that much life instead. Shalai, Voice of Plenty. What the fuck are you doing here? Flying, you planeswalkers you control and other creatures you control have hexproof. Green, green, 4, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. What does that have to do with this deck at all? Shalai, Voice of Plenty. Right there. Why is that in this deck? Has Steel Wall been reprinted anywhere since it can be foil? Anywhere it can be foil since Mirrodin Block? No. I looked it up. I think the only place you can get a foil Steel Wall is in Mirrodin. Yeah, it was reprinted in a couple of dual decks. This is Mirrodin Pure versus New Phyrexia, and then this is the one I have, which is Elspeth versus Tezzeret. They couldn't reprint it in any of the other Dragonstorm precon. I guess that's true. But I still don't want it in there. Wakestone Gargoyle. I guess that's good in a sense that, okay, I kind of get why this one is here. Creatures you control with Defender can attack this turn as though they didn't have a Defender. It lets me do the thing without my commander. I get why it's there. 4 mana for a 3/4 with Defender and Flying. I'm pumping 6 mana into that ability overall. That's a maybe. Rolling Stones effect, yeah, and I might actually put Rolling Stones in there too. Wall of Reverence, that's a life gain effect. At the beginning of your end step, you may gain life equal to the power of target creature control. Why the fuck would I want that? Wakestone Gargoyle is a maybe, by the way. This deck is all about toughness. Gaining life equal to the power of target creature I control. Ooh, at the beginning of my end step, gain 1 life. Woo! Get the fuck out of here. Welcoming Vampire. Oh. I didn't realize Welcoming Vampire was included in this deck, but it might be an okay include, actually. Whenever one or more other creatures with power 2 or less you control enter, draw a card. And it's card draw. Works better than they've reprinted. Yeah, what walls have that much power? Yeah, if I wanted power walls, I could finally run Wall of 1,000 Cuts. A wall that has never been good in any walled. This want to see my sleeper pick for shittiest wall of all time. Right there, Wall of 1,000 Cuts. It's a 3/5 for 5, which is a terrible return on a wall. It has Defender and Flying. You can make it attack for white. Welcoming Vampire, I think I might put in the maybe pile. It's card draw. And it's pretty consistent card draw at that, since everything... Zatalpa? What the fuck are you doing here? Obligatory Zatalpa reprint. I typed Zatalfa. Zatalfa mail. What the fuck are you doing here, Zatalpa? Should be Welcoming Vampire. Yeah, worse Wall of Swords, absolutely. Let me see here. I wanna see you. Here we go. A wall with Flying isn't so bad, and there are plenty of walls that can do that. Zatalpa's just here because of her contract. That's absolutely right. We are never casting Zatalpa ever. Get the fuck out of here. Should just start doing the band sounder for cards that get kicked.
Don't be coming back now.
There we go. Indeed, don't be coming back now. I'm going to go ahead and sleeve up Welcoming Vampire for now. It's card draw, which is important. There's a lot of that in the deck. On a similar what the fuck are you doing here note, Errata of the Endless Web. 3/5 with reach. Whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/2 green spider token with reach. I just need like a... I just need to do like Maldhound and just do the Vine Boom when a when a card gets kicked out. Let me grab my iPad, or I can just do it from my phone. Let's see. Yeah. Oh yeah, George Carlin, get the fuck out of here. Oh my god. I need that. That needs to go in the ban loop. Let's see. George Carlin.
I say, fuck you. I think it's hilarious. How do you like that?
Maybe not that one.
Why don't we just kill these fucking people?
Okay. My instance is, is woefully short of George Carlin sounds. Also, twitch.tv/roundthewheel does not condone that. There we go. All right. We'll just have that up. Arasta, you're gone. Assault formation, that stays. That lets the deck do what I need. Assault formation, if you're not familiar with it and you're watching. Assault formation does exactly what we want this deck to do. Each creature you control assigns combat damage to its toughness rather than its power. Target creature with Defender can attack this turn as though it didn't have Defender. For a green. Well, a small cost, not bad. And it only costs 2 to cast, which is great. And for more mana, I can pump those creatures. It does a lot. It's a big value card. Hornet Nest. Hornet Nest is often included in decks like this. It's been reprinted like 5 zillion times. Let's see. Defender. Whenever this creature is dealt damage, create that many 1/1 green insect creature tokens with flying and death touch. Which is fun. I mean, ideally you just want to block Hornet Nest. Somebody's coming at you with like Galta or something. Well, the excess would pass through. It's a bit small, but it's decent. I can never bring myself to fully cut it. It goes in the maybe pile, but I'm probably not going to include it. There's better things to do. Seedborn Muse, what are you doing here? Hey, we just made some money. Cha-ching. Hello, Seedborn. I have some better yeah, holy. $11. $11.13. Even in this printing, $11.13. Do we need that? I guess if we want our walls retapping, it has more toughness than it does power. Okay, where's my clear sleeves, actually? I think I have some clear sleeves around here for when I just take my... We're not gonna... Yeah, that's right, we're in flavor country. just you know, little something to take the edge off there. Yeah, this deck is pretty rad. I love, and I'm just a huge sucker for toughness matters. So Seedborn Muse, untap all permanents you control during each other player's untap step. I don't think I need that personally. So, but hey, baby, call me. Sylvan Caryatid. I think I have that. No, I have a Carven Caryatid over here. Well, I thought I did. Where the hell is it? Where the hell is my Carven Caryatid? Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah. So Sylvan Caryatid. Let's just type Caryatid so it's easier to get to both of them. Okay, Elysian Caryatid is out. So for Sylvan, Defender Hexproof, it's a mana dork. So it has Defender, it hits the Defender theme. It's a mana dork. It goes in. And if we needed to sacrifice it, we could. We'd get 3 cards out of the deal. Felatar does the thing, goes burr. So that would be pretty solid. Whereas Carven Caryatid, let's go back. Carven Caryatid. Oh, that's also in this deck. Never mind. I just have a copy of it. I have a Jumpstart copy of it here. But when this creature enters, draw a card. It's a 2/5. So a slightly more expensive version of the same thing. Carven will probably stay in the deck. Draw 5, discard 2 is not a bad deal in my opinion, especially for 3 mana. What else? Oh, here we go. I'm probably going to keep this in here even though it's slightly ill-advised. Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? No. Wait. Mommy? Sorry. Wait. Mommy? Wait. Mommy? Give me a minute. Mommy? No. Towering Titan. Enters with X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the total toughness of other creatures you control. Sacrifice a creature with Defender. All creatures gain trample until end of turn. I cannot resist a Timmy card like this. Even if I tried. So, Towering Titan. Mommy. Welcome to the deck. Good finisher. I'll say she's a good finisher. Wah, 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 wah. Hey, Fairy Slash, how's it going? Anguished Unmaking. You're just here because of your contract. I don't think I need to... Anguished Unmaking. That does remind me we should probably look at those Strixhaven cards like Fracture, Vanishing Verse, stuff like that for removal. Exile target non-land permanent. You lose 3 life. It is an instant. I think it's just here, though, because of its contract, so get out. Let's see. Dragon Lord Dramoka. A 5/7 with lifelink. Your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. I don't think I need that. Plays into the sub-lifelink theme that this deck has going, which we're kind of ignoring. Also, a nod to like the Dragon Lords of earlier Tarkir, because Vindicate didn't make that much sense. Hey, I'm trying to save a slot for Indicate. Vindicate can get out of here. I'm trying to save a slot in this deck for Indicate. D Lord Dramoka is pure control. So, and I'm not really interested in control. I'm just interested in my wall falls on your face. I don't want it. It's nice to have around, though. I wonder if I could build a whole thing around that. No, probably not. It's more of a 99 piece. Feyburrow Elder. Okay. All right. This is a fairly decent dork in this deck. Originally from Throne of Eldraine, I believe. Yeah. Oh, it's been reprinted a lot in recent years. Feyburrow Elder. Oh, I like its Lorwyn art. It's strong, but I'm playing a lot of aggro, so yeah. Save it for another. I agree. Feyburrow Elder. 0/0 Vigilance gets +1/+1 for each color among permanents I control, which would be 3 colors in this deck. I think that's about the point where the value is worth it, so welcome to the deck, Feyburrow Elder. 3 mana, a 3/3. It's a 3/3 that gives me 3 mana. It'll be a tap for WBG. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, taps for not Wooburg. Taps for Wibbig. 3 mana taps for 3. I'm down. Another dork I should maybe consider putting in this deck, which I think is an underrated mana dork. Leyline Prowler. Death Touch and Lifelink. Tap, add 1 mana of any cut. Well, it does have greater toughness than power. But that's a strong man. There's another one too. Shit, it's from Ikoria. Skull something or other. Set Ico Skull something. Let's go. Skull Prophet. There it is. Tap, add black or green. Tap, put the top 2 cards of your library. Oh, that's more of a mill thing. Put Lightning Greaves on and it's effectively free. Yeah, that's true. Okay, another... What the fuck are you doing here except to be gigantic? Shadrick, Silverquill. Flying in double strike. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may choose 2. Each mode must target a different player. Create a 2/1 white and black Inkling. Target player draws a card and loses 1 life. There's way better value in this deck, and I need to be leaning into Defender. That's a no. Let's see. Sidar Kondo of Jamura. Oh, hey, a partner. Another partner. I could do Ikra Shadiki and Sidar Kondo. Creatures your opponents control without flying or reach can't block creatures with power 2 or less. Sidar Kondo. Yeah. This isn't a politics deck. This is just an I run over you deck. Sidar Kondo of Jamura. Flanking whenever a creature without flanking blocks this creature. The blocking creature gets -1/-1. Creatures your opponents control without flying or reach can't block creatures with power 2 or less. And it is a partner commander. I mean, I don't have... This is a little more useful. But I don't have... It would be funny to do this as a toughness-themed deal. You'd have Rolling Stones. You'd have Assault Formation. Credits for a Mirage Weatherlight Storyline Erica. That's just... Yeah, it's just nostalgia. I don't think I need it in here. Yeah, for sure. Kolfinor's Urn. I think this is a new one in this set. Kolfinor's Urn. Maybe it's a reprint. Oh, no, it's from Lorwyn. Never mind. From OG Lorwyn. Whenever a creature with toughness 4 or greater is put in your graveyard from the battlefield, you may exile it. At the beginning of your end step, at the beginning of the end step, not yours, any end step. If 3 or more cards have been exiled with this artifact, sacrifice it. If you do, return those cards to the battlefield under your control. Only 3. Although it does rely on the artifact hanging around for a while. Could it hang around long enough to get the exile things? Decent recycling effect, depending on use. Maybe like if you know a board wipe is coming. That's a maybe. It's not bad. This looks really bad in this deck, though. 1 second. Staff of Completion. What are you doing here? $5, though. I would give it a... Drop it right before you use Tip the Scales. Oh, hey. Yeah, good call. Staff of Completion. The opposite of the Staff of Domination. Tap, pay 1 life, destroy target permanent you own. Tap, pay 2 life, add 1 mana of any color. Tap, pay 3 life, proliferate. Tap, pay 4 life, draw a card. 5, untap this artifact. At no point, I think, is there anything that I'm going to want to pay that cost to do. So... Paying 2 life to add 1 mana? No. Paying 3 life to proliferate? We're not putting a ton of counters down. Paying 4 life and drawing a card? Like, I can draw a card for way better rate than that. Another one that's just going... Yeah, most of those I get elsewhere for cheaper. Bye. Oh, God. Favorite pet card of mine right here. This one is staying in the deck. I don't care what anyone says. Weathered Sentinels. I love this card. 2/5 wall. It has Defender, Vigilance, Reach, and Trample. Can attack players who attacked you during their last turn as though it didn't have Defender. And whenever this creature attacks, it gets +3/+3 and gains Indestructible until end of turn. A 5/8 with 5 keywords. You're talking to my little Timmy heart right now. Welcome to the deck, Weathered Sentinels. Love you, buddy. That's from that's originally from New Capenna Commander. Love that. Love that card. All right, now we're getting into some lands. Canopy Vista. That can probably stay. 3 mana, fights as an 8/8. Welcome back, Wall of Stone, and then some. Yeah, and it's colorless, color agnostic. Canopy Vista is searchable. I'll leave it in. And I'll probably be having some basic land out there, so that can stay. Exotic Orchard, that's fine. We're going to go ahead and sleeve up some of these lands at least. Fortified Village. As it enters, you may reveal a forest or plains from your hand. If you don't, it enters tapped. That's fine. I can usually get lands like that to come in not tapped. Isolated Chapel, nice little check land. Enters tapped unless you control plains or swamp. We will need to find whatever Triome is good here, though. Abzan Triome, Set, Ikoria Triome. I think that might be Indatha. Yeah, Indatha Triome. How much are you? $18. Well, we'll be proxying that for sure. Overgrown Farm. Well, hey, okay. They put one of the Midnight Hunt slow duels in here. These should honestly be in every deck. Yes! Please reprint the Triomes. Overgrown Farmland, great card. That is going on the... That is going in the mana base. Sungrass Prairie. Green-white filter land. That's a maybe. I could probably put better stuff in there. Sun Petal Grove. Green-white check land. I'll go ahead and keep check lands. They're not bad. Temple of Malady. Temple of Plenty. Temple of Silence. You're all out of there. Toilet Mire. The filter land. They've been doing a better job reprinting some of these. Tarkir is not even the latest place this one showed up. That's Edge of Eternity's commander. So, let's see. I think I might be able to do better than filter lands, though. Oh, wait. Let's see. That's a maybe. Depends on what the rest of the mana base looks like. Woodland Cemetery enters tapped unless you control a swamp or a forest. That's nice. That's a... Wait. That's another check land. That's the black and green one. Okay, yeah. So that one's going to stay on. Check lands are okay. The old filter lands are okay. Shadowmoor Eventide ones are much better. Yeah, kind of agree. Arcane Signet. This is a 3 or more color deck. So I'm okay with that. And I like that artwork too. Let's see what we got here. Arcane Signet. Does it look the same from... Okay, that's fucking terrible. That's a day ruiner right there. Edge of Eternities. Okay, that's pretty rad for Edge of Eternities. The Tarkir one, I think, has popped up in a few places. It looks like this. I like that one. That's going in. And... Oh, Soul Ring, of course. They're giving those new art with every deck now. So... Arcane Signet was on the list? What the hell? The list was around as late as Thunder Junction? What? Also, what the hell? OTC? Yeah, that Turtle's Arcane Signet. Let's just take a minute to appreciate how fucking awful that is. Soul Ring. I'm a basic bitch. I'll put it in there. Command Tower, of course. Let's see. Who is this? Who's this artist? Joe Cordisco. Joe Cordisco. How do you search up an art credit? Is it Art Donato Giancola? No, I don't know. I don't know what the art filter is. But that's the kind of thing that's like, maybe don't invite that artist back. People get mad at Carly Mazur art, but they won't get mad at this. That's insane to me. Next up, we're getting into some less marquee stuff. Nyx Fleece Ram. At the beginning of your upkeep, you gain 1 life. Life gain, click the artist name in the text section on Scryfall. Oh, that's right. Okay. We'll keep Nyx Fleece Ram in. It's a cheap 0/5. I'm not there for the life gain, but... Hey, Zamot, how's it going? Yeah, Joe Cordisco. Avatar. Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles. Avatar. Avatar. Ninja Turtles. Firebending. Avatar. 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 Okay. This is not a magic artist I need in my life. Slaughter the Strong. Beautiful card. Wonderful effect for this deck. I would put it in there if it wasn't in there. Each player chooses any number of creatures they control with power 4 or less, then sacrifices all other creatures they control. Great card. Great for this deck. What else? Oh, neat. Okay. Just checking some things. Swords to Plowshares. Exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power. It's cheap removal. It's good. It exiles. Swords to Plowshares. You can... I mean, can you really ever go wrong with Swords to Plowshares? It's in the maybe pile, I think. That's for sure. Wall of Omens. That's a nice cheap drop. 2 mana, 0/4. When it enters, draw a card. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's the kind of wall I'm looking for right there. See? Keep it simple with this deck. Wall of Omens. Defender. When this creature enters, draw a card. What's up, Aseshi? Just sleeving up the Abzan Armor deck right now. Wingmantle Chaplain. Wingmantle. Oh, that's not even... There's not even another Wingmantle. Defender. When this creature enters, create... Oh, it's got Defender. Okay, so it's on theme for that. When it enters, create a 1/1 white bird creature token flying for each creature with Defender you control. Whenever another creature you control with Defender enters, create a 1/1 white bird. Who is the commander? The commander is Felothar the Steadfast. It's the face commander of the deck. Each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. Creatures you control can attack as though they didn't have Defender, and for 3 and tap and sack another creature, you draw cards equal to that sacrificed creature's toughness, and then you discard cards equal to its power. I got this deck for Christmas. Yeah, it's the Precon, exactly. And it's just something a little different than usual. Just something a little different from the usual. I have done the Arcades Bant deck in the past, but this is not bad. It is Defender itself, which is on theme with some other things. I think I'm going to keep it in there for now. Plus, it can create tokens. I can just chump block with those. 4 mana, a little bit steep for what it does. I am upgrading it. I am updating it. I'm deciding what to keep out and what to add. Behind the Scenes. A card that can really only work in this deck because it has one major flaw. Behind the Scenes. Creatures you control have Skulk. Beautiful. I want Skulk. But for white and 4, creatures I control get +1/+1 until end of turn. I don't want to give things +1/+1 for 1. And white ensures it can only work in this deck. I would love to put it in just black decks. But this deck can hold black and white, so we're going to keep it in there. 3 mana to give everything Skulk. Behind the Scenes is amazing for this deck. Solid inclusion. Another great inclusion for this deck. I think we're going to keep it in here. Blight Pile. 3/3 with Defender. It only costs 2. Has Defender. Black 2 and tap. Each opponent loses X life, where X is the number of creatures with Defender you control. So we're just going to load this thing up with Defenders. Yeah, the buff is okay, but I'm never going to use that. Feed the Swarm. I'm probably going to replace this. Feed the Swarm has been okay for a while. Like if you have nothing else. But we're in green and white. We can disenchant with tons of things. We don't need this shit in here. Also, if I just want removal like that, as I talked about earlier, Withering Torment is strictly better at this point. It is a nearly $4 card. But nonetheless, I don't think I need Feed the Swarm in my life. Get out of here. Infernal Grasp. Destroy target creature, you lose 2 life. It is an instant. It does have that going for it. And it's pretty much the same as, you know, almost identical. Withering Torment gives us enchantment options also. Infernal Grasp is okay. Yeah, it should not be hard to have this kind of mana. First of all, we're working in green. So, you know, Nature Toss, Feed the Swarm, OTs. I understood some of those words. Infernal Grasp is a maybe. I think we're going to go ahead and keep it for removal. It is instant speed, which I think... oh, yeah, for Nature's Claim. Nature's Claim is really good, and I think would work in this deck just fine. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, green. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Its controller gains 4 life. So, like, yeah, that's pretty solid disenchant material right there. I'd throw that in there over some of this stuff. It's an instant. It does the Swords to Plowshare thing, although not quite as... They probably get a little nicer bit off of it. Wall of Limbs. Defender. Whenever you gain life... What do you mean whenever you gain life? Wall of Limbs. Defender. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Wow. Double no. We don't care about life gain. We don't care about +1/+1 counters. Not in this deck. And for 7 mana and sacrifice this creature. So we're dumping 10 mana into this thing overall. Target player loses X life where X is this creature's power. Get out. Arboreal Grazer. Maybe not the worst bit of ramp in here. Arboreal Grazer. A 3/3 functionally for 1. Not enough life gain triggers to turn it into a sudden nuke. Nope. If we were playing Baitor, we would go for that, but we're not. So, Arboreal Grazer. This is not bad ramp. When this creature enters, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. Welcome to the deck, buddy. You can hit for 3 for 1 mana, and you're ramping me, and you have reach. I'll let you chump block at once you get done the things you get done. Axebane Guardian, instant inclusion. Thank you very much. Lord God King Bufu in the Defender deck. Axebane Guardian. It took this long to reprint it in a Commander deck. I do have the Baitor from the main set. I have a proxy of it. Let me go grab it. Yeah, that's the one that like scales up. Hold on just a second. I think I do have that somewhere around here. Let me go digging real quick. Yeah, I saw it the other day when I was... Did I just throw it in with my... I don't know. Let me see if I just threw it in with my... Okay, I can't remember where I put my proxies, but I do. I know where I put them. Never mind. Okay, I know. That's pointless bullshit. Yeah, so when I was printing proxies off, Overgrown Battlement is in this deck. So let's see. Overgrown Battlement is in this deck, so we don't need it. Here it is. This is a proxy copy, but I do have Baitor Kin to All right there. And because it's so fuzzy, we're just going to... There we go. At the beginning of your end step, I'm going to go to the nice one that I printed. At the beginning of your end step, if creatures you control have total toughness 10 or greater, draw a card. Then if creatures you control have total toughness 20 or greater, untap each creature you control. Then, if creatures you control have total toughness 40 or greater, each opponent loses half their life, rounded up. Yeah, scary card that's going to get me targeted. It goes in the deck. Of course it is. Here's my proxy backing, by the way. Is it a real card? Yeah, nobody cares. Nobody worth a fuck gives a fuck. So, Wall of Stolen Identity is a fun card. I agree with that assessment. Anything else I have here I could throw in here? No, the rest of this is just for shizzies and gizzies. I did print a couple of things. No, I think I already had that card. I think that's why it's here. Okay. Better use of that for magic stuff than that one counter spell. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Nobody cares about your SpongeBob secret lair. Carven Caryatid. I think I had this to the side earlier. Carven Caryatid. Wait, did I put it in the deck already? No, I think I put it off to the side because I had the... put it off to the side because I had the Jumpstart one. Evolving Wilds. Oh shit, folks. As Joey Moss likes to say. Here it is. OP. Okay. Again, my senses have been assaulted. Here we go. Much better. It was talked about at least. Evolving Wilds. Sacrifice this land. Search your library for a basic land. It's a maybe. I can do better than that. Jaddy Offshoot. Jaddy Offshoot. Jaddy? Jaddy Daddy? Whenever a land you control enters, you gain 1 life. And it has Defender. A green 0/3. Busted. Yeah. Evolving Wilds is busted. Jaddy Offshoot is busted. Jaddy Offshoot's a maybe, though. I don't need life gain. But it is pretty cheaply costed. Overgrown Battlement, welcome to the party. You get to stay in the deck. You get to stay in the deck. Sandstep Citadel, even though you enter tapped, you get to stay in the deck. Sandstep Citadel. This land enters tapped. Add what? Add 1 of 3 colors, you say? I think I'm going to overlook the fact that you come in tapped for that. Tower Defense. Creatures you control get +0/+5 and gain reach until end of turn. I'm going to tentatively add this to the deck. I used to have it in Arcades. It's only been printed elsewhere in Ravnica Allegiance and Tarkir. Ravnica Allegiance and Gatecrash. But I think I'm going to tentatively leave it in here. It could be a good, pump for end of the game stuff. Tentatively going to leave it in for now, though it never popped off in Arcades like I wished it would have. So it's a maybe. It would be one of the first things to go for sure, though, if things went sideways. Wall of Blossoms. Beautiful. We love to see it. Wall of Blossoms, 0/4 for 2. When it enters, draw a card. It's a green Wall of Omens. It does simple things. This is a simple deck for simple people. Wall of Roots, green 1, a 0/5 with Defender. Put a 0/1 counter on this creature. Add green. Activate only once each turn. Well, there's nothing saying I have to do that. 0/5 is pretty good rate for a 2 mana is pretty good. Definitely replaced for Vibrant Cityscape. Doesn't Vibrant Cityscape do the exact same fucking thing? Hold on. Little comparison taste test. Evolving Wilds. Yeah. Sack. Search your library for a basic land card. Vibrant Cityscape, which is, I feel at pains to note, a Spider-Man and Turtles card. Tap sack. Search your library for a basic land card. Put it on the battlefield tapped and then shuffle. Literally the exact same thing. Why do they need 2 of these? I don't want Vibrant Cityscape in my deck. D-Spark. D-Spark. Exile target permanent with mana value 4 or greater. I mean, that is punishing the people who are going big, whereas I'm going small. But it is a mana value-based thing. It's decent removal for what it is. Yeah, it's decent point removal. I agree with you. I'm keeping it. D-Spark, welcome to the deck. Indulging Patrician. Flying in lifelink at the beginning of your end step. If you gained 3 or more life this turn, each opponent loses 3 life. She's a hottie McDottie for sure, but we don't care about life gain in this particular version of this deck. Get out of here. Get out of here, lady. Not inviting you across my threshold. Let's see. Crashing Drawbridge. Crashing Drawbridge stays because it gives things haste. That's an auto include. And 0-4 for 2 is... Vibrant Cityscape would be fine if they printed a Capenna version, which somehow even the Omen Pass one is not. Yeah. Yeah, a new Capenna one, that would make sense. A Ravnica one, that would make sense. But no, they printed it in Return to New York. Orzhov's Signet, yeah, we're going to want the Signets in there. We have Orzhov and Selesnya, but we don't have the third one, which would be Golgari Signet. Why don't we have a Golgari Signet in here? Why'd you only give me 2? Whatever. But I'll take... the Talismans might be better. These are maybes. I think I'll maybe do the Talismans as ramp. I prefer those, generally. Yeah, no Golgari Signet. They gave me 2 Signets. 2 of the 3 that I would have needed. That's insane. Swiftfoot. Oh, yeah, we do need Swiftfoot. Already a thing we needed to protect Felithar. Because we want to protect our commander because it does the things we want the deck to do. Walking Bulwark. Great card for this deck. That lets us do things that the deck does without the commander. So that's a good card right there. Alright. Access Tunnel. I'm going to be real with you. These lands that let you pay a bunch of mana and a creature with low power can't be blocked. I'm going to be real with you. Access Tunnel, Rogue's Passage. I've never given a fuck about those lands. Never once have I wanted to pay 4 mana to have a 1 power creature get through. Never once. There are cheaper ways to do it. If I'm playing blue, I'll just throw Aqueous Form on it. If I'm playing black, I'll just play stuff that's unblockable, like Tormented Soul. Like, yeah. No Golgari Signet in any of the Dragonstorm precons. Not even the Sultai one. If it was 2 mana for power 2 or less, I'd be okay with that. Yeah. But Jukabog is kind of whatever. I don't know. If I'm not specifically graveyard hating, I don't care about it that much. To be honest with you. Deceptive Landscape. Okay. Okay, this is okay. This might have some value in here. Add colorless. Sacrifice this land. Search your library for a basic plains, swamp, or forest card. Put it on the battlefield tapped and then shuffle. That's okay. It's specific to these colors. I was going to say, this feels like one of those Modern Horizons 3 fetches that they did. And it's exactly that. That's very nice. The Pauper Tricolors. Yeah. Path of Ancestry is not needed in this deck. Add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. When that mana is spent to cast a creature spell that shares a creature type with your commander. We're not casting a bunch of humans. We're going to be casting walls. So, get out of here, Path of Ancestry. Radiant Grove. A forest plains enters tapped. Searchable, but enters tapped. No. Not playing a Kindred deck, so yeah. Decent here. Okay, here's a bunch of basics. Hey, Rudy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. 7 forests, 6 plains, 5 swamps. Why not just go 6, 6, and 6? Also, I'm going to be replacing these with cooler art. So, maybe get out of here. And then we're down to tokens. Wall, inkling, bird, wall, spider, insect, bird, wall, inkling, wall, blah, 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 spider. Tokens are not really going to be what this deck does. But, okay. So now we have our deck put together. We have what we're keeping. We have our maybe pile. And we have a few other things over here that I'm going to consider. Help me out, folks. Help me out. Okay, first of all, one thing that is going in here. This is going to be a yes right off the bat. Wall of Tangle Cord. 0.6 for 2. That's a great rate. That's a great return on investment, especially for this deck. Basically a 6/6 for 2 mana. And for green, I can give it reach. That's going in. I already have a Wall of Blossoms, so it's not needed. I found this the other day, as I said on the Discord, so I'm going to be including that. It is a Stronghold print. And we're not gunning for powers, so we don't need the buff that Garrick's Uprising would give us. Yeah, when this enchantment... Yeah, power 4 or greater. We're not going for 4 power here. So we do not need all that. Yeah, so it's a little bit cheaper and it's a little bit more streamlined for what we want. So I would take Primal Rage over Garrick's Uprising in this particular situation. Now what? Okay. I know we said this wasn't a politicking deck, but I think it's funny and it's a good return. Yeah, I'll let somebody draw a card off of Flump. Sure, why not? I know Hiseshi's going to enjoy that one. So we're gonna put Flump in the deck. Let's see. Okay. One thing I'm thinking of putting in here. This is... Okay, yeah. This is one time when I would like some input. This is not a defender, but... And it is maybe a little too political. Also nice for just being a 4/4 flyer for 2. Yeah. So, Orzhov Advocist. This could hit for 4. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player may put 2+1/+1 creatures on a creature they control. If a player does, creatures that player controls can't attack you or planeswalkers you control until your next turn. There's nothing saying I have to opt into this, although I might. So if I have like a 0/5 and I sacrifice it, 5 cards, no discard. But if it has 2 counters on it, it's a 2/7, 7 cards, discard 2. I mean, obviously I wouldn't want to pump a creature, any individual creature, too much. But I'm thinking about it as a possible inclusion. So, what do we think? It would matter for toughness. Also, I'm thinking of putting Ornithopter and Ornithopter of Paradise in here. A 2/2 flyer for nothing. I might put Ornithopter in there, just because it's funny. And for Ornithopter of Paradise, I'd have a Dork, a 2/2 flyer that can add 1 mana of any color. I don't know that I need both. I think the 2/2 for free would be funnier. I'm going to put Orzhov and Ornithopter in the maybe pile. And also Ornithopter of Paradise. We're going to put those in the maybe pile. This, I think I'm going to include also. It's a minor buff, but I think it's cool. Spider Silk Armor. Creatures you control get +1, +0/+1, and have reach. I think that's a nice little Also free buffs for anything that wants to swing. Yeah, pretty much. Sentinels, yeah. Spider Silk Armor is good in here. I think I'm going to include that. And so that concludes the physical deck building portion of the deck. Let's go ahead and... Let's go. Hey, Crazy Dave, how's it going? We're just building a deck today, so we're going to move over to... we're going to go ahead and move over to Moxfield now. We don't need Chips Challenge open. Get out of here. Phyrexian Walker for similar reasons if I've got one. Let's see. I don't think I do, but... Phyrexian Walker. 0-3 for... Oh! A 3-3 for free! Oh, shoot! Okay. Boy, twist my arm. Tell you what. That's not bad. 3-3 for 0 is insane value. Let's move to the Moxfield side of things and start in on that. So let's actually get this going now. Felthar the Steadfast, we're going to create that. We are immediately going to delist this deck because I don't want to... I forget how to do that. More, yeah, here we go. There's a way to set my deck to unlisted. I don't want people to see all this just yet. Settings, maybe? Unlisted. There we go. Save. Okay. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and get everything that we have done in here so far. Reunion of the house. Reunion of the hoose. Jaws of Defeat. Tip the scales. We'll see what this puts us at. Will the abs in. Okay. Tree of Perdition. Love it, love it, love it. That's not the one we want. We have the Innistrad Remastered one. Tree of Redemption. We've got both trees in there so far. Okay. We've got E-Honda Sumo Excuse you. What is not legal about that? I guess I have to do Balden. Okay. And then switch printing to E-Honda. There we go. Okay. E-Honda Sumo Champion. Hoo, hoi! Alright. Indomitable Ancients, because of course. Wow, there's actually a lot of cards that qualify if you type Indomitable. Steel Wall. It's like brushing your teeth with Steel Wall. Welcoming Vampire, I think we're going to leave in for now. Good card draw. Assault Formation, of course. It's the only thing I hate about this deck being banned is that, or not being banned, rather, is I can't use High Alert to Sylvan Caryatid. There we go. Towering Mommy. I mean, Towering Titan. Fabro Elder. Okay. Weathered. Sentinels. Vista. Okay. Exotic. Ooh. Exotic Orchard. Fortified Village. Isolated Chapel. Nope, don't have that exotic orchard anymore. Damn shame, damn shame. I loved dropping that thing onto a table. My $50 exotic orchard, according to, yeah. Now it's just normal. Overgrown farmland, Sun Petal Grove, Sun Petal, Woodland Cemetery, Arcane Signet. What's wrong with that one? Hey, Root Beer. How you doing, kitty? You protecting the window from bad people? Soul Ring. Soul Ring, sure. Oh, I love that Soul Ring, but not for $12. I don't. Ooh. Whoa. Get a load of this Strixhaven one. Shit. That's crazy. That one's gonna go off. Okay, that one's kind of cool. I like stupid soul rings. Maybe not the Furby one. I don't like the Furby one. Just kidding. Let's just go for accuracy here. What? What's up?
Feel how sturdy it's got weight.
Ooh. There we go.
I'm
Ooh,
very
that's very
excited.
nice. Oh, it's like when I bought the measuring cup almost.
Yeah.
It's heavier. It's nice.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that. What are you blending?
Nothing. I'm just putting away right now.
Okay.
I only made 1 cup of rice.
That's fine.
Okay.
Have you tasted it yet?
No, it's still cooking.
Okay. Command Tutor. Nyx Fleece Ram. Slaughter the Strong. Slot. Well, let's go ahead and throw the swamps in there. Although, I always like to go with snow-covereds. Snow-covered forest, and snow-covered. May or may not end up being snow-covered. We'll see. 6, 6, and 6. Okay, I'm pretty sure we can get the land base there in short order. Wall of Omens. Winged Mantle. Chapel. Behind the Scenes. Okay, why did I push enter? Back. We like Behind the Scenes. Let's not get too excited though. Blind Pile. Arboreal Grazer. Axebane, of course. Of course you need Axebane in there. Betor for giggles. Switch to the cool printing. Oh yeah, 1947. That's definitely what I paid for it. Carven Caryatid. Overgrown battlement. Sandstep. Sandstep Citadel. Tower defense. Okay, we're probably going to want all our usual ramp in there as well. Wall of Blossoms. Very nice. Wall of Roots. I personally like Wall of Junk also. D-Spark, good spot removal. Crashing Drawbridge. Crashing Drawbridge. Swiftfoot. Boots. Walking Bulwark, of course. Deceptive Landscape. Okay. Wall of Tangle Cord. Primal Rage. Flump. Flump is great. We love Flump. And Spider Silk Armor. Alright. Puts us up to 68 cards. Alright. So, counting our commander, that's 68. So now, what to go about adding and what to go about subtracting. Okay. First of all, mana base. We have white, black, and green. I have an Overgrown Tomb. We can go ahead and add that to the deck right now. Overgrown Tomb, boom. We love to see it. Let's go ahead and switch the printing. It is my Ravnica Remastered one that I pulled. So, I think that's at the bottom of my money pile. So, a for real. You just missed me putting the things into Moxfield, Hiseshi. You didn't really miss anything, per se. But right now, I am sleeving up Overgrown Tomb. I have it. It goes in. My Temple Garden is hanging out in another deck. But I do need the put in Temple Garden. That's going to go ahead and be in there. We're finding that, right? Why is the internet... There we go. The internet was being the internet there for a second. Oh, I could pull that from Allure when Eclipsed. Another reason to keep going after those. We'll just go Ravnica Remastered for... And what's the other one? Green. We have green, black, green, white. We need white, black. The white, black Shockland is Godless Shrine. That is currently hanging out in my Karlov deck. Yeah, there we go. Shield Sphere, yes, I'm going to add Shield Sphere. Maybe not use it as a blocker. I don't care that much, but a free 0/6. But a free 6/6 is definitely on the menu. Shield Sphere. Yeah, free 0/6. Phyrexian Walker, a free 0/3. Yeah, nice. Get those freebies in there. Ornithopter. Yeah, having zeros in there is pretty solid. Godless Shrine, yeah, I got Godless Shrine in there. So now I need to think about the Battle Bond lands. So, Vault of Champions. Vault of Champions is going to need to go in there. Undergrowth Stadium is going to need to go in there. Undergrowth Stadium. Okay. Not that one. Disgusting. How about Commander Masters? There we go. We'll go with that reprint. And then I'm missing the green and white one, which is Bountiful Promenade. So that needs to go in there. Okay, good. 34 lands so far and no talismans. Talismans are going to be good for ramp. Talisman of Hierarchy. Yeah, right there. Okay. Talisman of Resilience. Okay. Very nice. And Talisman of Unity. We'll go with those for ramp. Not the Doctor Who one, please. Thank you. How about... This one came in a starter deck, right? Let's just use that. Although I do like these ones. These Lindsay Look ones. A little better. Has she done a... Can we be consistent? Can we get a... No, Lindsay Look has not done one of those. She's a really good Magic artist, by the way. She does hands almost as well, maybe if not even better than Donato Giancola. So there's that. We need some pretty solid ramp. 3 visits. 3 visits is good. We're going to want... what else? Nature's Lore. Nature's Lore is solid. We're going to need that. Just putting those cards straight onto the battlefield as opposed to in your hand. So I think I'm fine with that. Indatha Triome. As long as we're going to be playing with a fake one. The full art doesn't look as good. Okay, well, whatever. That's okay. What else? We need a Triome. We need the Battle Bond lands. We need the Shock lands. We've got those in there. Temple Garden, Overgrown Tomb. We need all of these. The Battle Bond or the Midnight Hunt slow duels. They gave us Overgrown Farmland. That was nice of them. But we also need Shattered Sanctum. And green and black. Not Dreamroot Cascade. Deathcap Glade. Yeah, there we go. That one was in Crimson Vow. Alright. Let's see. Shizo Death Storehouse? Maybe. That's an expensive as fuck card these days. Target legendary creature gains fear until end of turn. Can't be blocked except by artifact creatures or black creatures. That's a possible maybe. I don't necessarily need that in my life. And I don't need to, okay, check lands. We've got Sun Petal Grove, Isolated Chapel. Do we have the... Yeah, we have all 3 of the check lands. So, that's solid. Oh, I guess I decided I was throwing Ornithopter in the deck, so we're sleeving that up. Just while we're here. Anything else wall-wise or toughness-wise that we should toss in there? Okay, so let's start looking at some things. I think I've looked through everything Defender-related, and I think I have anything I would want to throw Defender-wise into one. How many creatures with Defender we got, by the way? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 creatures with Defender. That's a pretty good rate. Did I do Farseek? I don't think so. Farseek gives you everything except a forest, right? Search your library for a plains, island, swamp, or mountain card. And put it on the battlefield tapped. Then shuffle your library. Yeah, I'll throw Farseek in there. One more bit of ramp. Couldn't hurt. We're at 86 cards now. Are we good on... So we have slow... We have every... Oh, we need the... Do we need fetches? I like crop rotation is a game changer now, so I try not to be too gross with it. Sack a land, search your library for a land card. Put it. It's really good though. I'm not going to use it for now.
Hey, dinner is ready.
Yeah.
There was only 3 pork chops in there and Trey is here.
Do y'all want to? Do they want to eat?
I'm afraid to bring it up in case they do.
I'm fine with having something else if they.
The pork chops were for you.
Oh shit, that's right.
Hopefully they're just gonna eat there.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, well dinner's ready. Do you
Okay.
eat now or later?
Let's see. It's 27, 5:27. God, I'd like to eat now. They said they wanted to leave about 5:30, right?
Yeah. Well, or you can just eat when you get back, and then we don't have to worry about them seeing us.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. They said hi, Mrs. Wheel.
Hello, friends.
Or I could do. She was saying hello. There's that. But if she was saying goodbye, give me just a second. Where's my? I'll get it later. I have a sounder for goodbye as well. It's not quite as nice. Is it? Hold on. Is it just goodbye? Maybe.
Goodbye forever, you factory reject dildos.
There we go. Not quite as nice as her hello friends. But yeah, I am about to have to head out here. So we're at 86 cards right now. Let's see. Let's look at some of the spot removal that's in Strixhaven, like Fracture, destroy target artifact, enchantment, or planeswalker. That's not bad. That might be a little bit of good spot removal. Vanishing Verse, I think, was pretty cool. Exile target monocolored permanent. No, she never would say that. Absolutely not. Let's see. I'm not specifically into punishing single color. I like it better than Anguished Unmaking, I can tell you that. It's only got to be one color. But it only costs 2 and it's an instant. I kind of like having Fracture around. I think I'm gonna include Jesus. I think I'm gonna include Fracture as spot removal. That's pretty nice. Switch. We don't need it to be a list card. I'm sure there's still that hanging around somewhere. Tower Defense. We might need some more instants on our side, actually. So it might not be such a bad idea. But I don't know. Is anybody on right now? I have to take some children somewhere. So let's see who is live at the moment. Maybe some people would like to go say hi to somebody. I don't know. Mooney is Newman and zooming. Who else is on right now? Yeah, let's. I I gotta go do some stuff. I did not think this would take up the whole time. I thought we would get to Vindicate. Yeah, we talked about it earlier. But I don't think I'm gonna include Vindicate in my deck. Maybe. Well, let's just see what it exiles a permanent, right? Vindicate. Destroy target permanent. Okay. For 3, and it's a permanent. It destroys a permanent. Permanent. That's good. I could be mean. I could destroy a land if I wanted to. This artwork is so weird to me. I always feel like that's like a TIE fighter or something, and this is like a space battle. Feels very strange to me. It feels very space coded to me, even though I'm pretty sure that's a guy right there, just getting blown up. But I don't know. This artwork has always felt very like space coded to me. Let's go ahead and I do have to go ahead and get chauffeuring some kids to church. So yeah, land destruction. We do not need to introduce a land destruction theme into this deck. This isn't that kind of deck. So I'm going to go ahead. I gotta peace out for now, but I'm going to go ahead and send y'all somewhere simpatico. And that is going to be over to Mooney. So y'all have a great day. We may continue with this later. I don't know. But for now, just be excellent to each other and don't do anything I wouldn't do. There we go. Have a great night. And I did not actually do the command. So you mean, you know, with one problem land? Yeah, that might not be such a bad idea. But yeah. Say hi to Mooney. Mooney is good people. I'll see y'all later. I got stuff that needs a doing. Bye now.